Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. This afternoon from Legion Field, it's a league doubleheader as the Mustangs take on the Skyline Falcons. I'm John Beltran. It's been a while since we've been with you. It seemed like it was over a month ago, although it wasn't quite that when they split that doubleheader, losing to Sterling 18-4, then beating Brush by a score of 6-5. Skyline's had a tough schedule, so even though they're 0-5, I would not necessarily pencil anything into the win column. With the Mustangs at 3-2. Bee Diggers also in action today on 10-10 right now against Prospect Ridge Academy. We're going to do something unusual throughout the course of the season. Every single Mustang batter will have a baseball movie quote attached to them. Then we'll have the baseball movie quote winner at the end of the game based on the best result. We'll have the fans involved as well. And on a defensive gem, we'll also assign a baseball movie quote, one per half inning. And we'll get to that momentarily. First, let's get to the Skyline Falcons starting lineup for this. First pitch will be well before 4 o'clock. Batting first is the center fielder, Jonathan Canar. Second baseman, Samuel Carmona, hits second. The catcher, Emilio Gutierrez, hits third. The cleanup hitter is the right fielder, Connor Ormsby. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Grayson Gomez. Matt Lanier, the left fielder, hits sixth. Braden Hufford, the DH, hits seventh. First baseman, Evan Gale, hits eighth. And Colin Wright, the shortstop, bats ninth. Have a public address announcer today, and senior Jonathan Prouty, doing a tremendous job up here. Now, defensively, Trey Romero's at first. Joseph Layden is the second baseman. Jaden Carrera at third. The shortstop is Charlie Langford. In the outfield is the left fielder Noah Aguirre, a sophomore. David Keller in center, along with the right fielder Chase Romero. Behind the plate, senior Tyler Baker and a fellow senior on the mound. And right-hander Chase Redding. And Chase just picked up the victory against Vista Peak, a 10-3 win. ERA is a little bit elevated, but he's got some good stuff, without a doubt. 7.58 ERA, 19 strikeouts, 12 walks in 12 innings. First pitch is brought to you by Buildings by Design. First impressions are important. Visit Buildings by Design. They'll make your vision a reality. Visit buildingsbydesign.com. And the first batter is Jonathan Canar. First pitch is at 3:55. Fastball is over for a strike at the knees. Skyline in their black and red uniforms and gray pants. The Mustangs in their blacks with the stripes across, and, of course, the white pants. The pitch. Breaking ball is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. The game time temp on this Thursday, and it's starting to climb into the 50s, 51 degrees. And that is scooped up by Baker. 2 balls and 1 strike. All right, for this particular batter, not the batter, just the defensive inning. Here's the wind and the 2-1, and he bounces that to the screen. That's the issue that Chase has. Sometimes he's a pitcher, other times he's a thrower. Just got to pitch here and rely on your mechanics. 3 balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting Jonathan Canar. Here's the wind and offering. Swung on and driven into right field. Romero's going way back. That ball's tagged very well. It's over his head, up against the fence. Canar's around first, and he's going to be into second with a stand-up double. And that's the way this one starts, as Samuel Carmona will now hit. Carmona, another right-handed hitter. Skyline did just lose to Meade by a 10-8 score, hitting .254 as a team. Canar came in hitting .667, limited number at bats. Carmona at .083, big difference there. The stretch, looking back at second. About a 4-step lead. And the pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. Okay, let's get back to the movie quote for the Mustangs defensively in this inning. In game 1, It will be from Pride of the Yankees. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth, based on Lou Gehrig. That'll be attached to the player who makes a tremendous defensive play in this inning if it does happen. The pitch, and the breaking ball is lifted foul down the right side. Romero giving chase, and that one is out of play. No balls and 2 strikes. It's going to be very busy for the Mustangs. They'll be back at it here against Frederick on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, and Brian Nickel will have the call right here on B106. No balls and 2 strikes to Samuel Carmona. Canar with a leadoff double for Skyline. Baker lays down the sign. Looking back. Long pause. And the pitch. Bounces that one in there, blocked by Baker. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, then when each Mustang batter gets up, they'll be assigned a baseball quote. We'll have the top 3 at the end of the game and then the winner. And we'll let you know how the fans can get involved. We do have concessions beginning today. Concessions at Legion Field. I'll run down that menu. The pitch. Breaking ball is up and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Emilio Gutierrez is on deck. Canar off of second. Just underway, about a 5-minute head start to this game. Baker lays down the sign. Redding with a 2-2. Swung on and grounded right off of the glove of Redding. Picks it up, throws to first for the out. Holding up at second is Canar, 1 down. That'll set up Emilio Gutierrez. Hitting .545, so this guy's got the big stick in the lineup. And batting for the left side, they'll have to shift a little bit defensively. Yeah, and with the way games are sped up at the major league level, these high school games could take as long as some of the major league games, a stretch. Looking back, even though it's only 7 innings, but the pitching is obviously a lot better at the major league level. 2 games today. Second game scheduled to start at 6 o'clock, or about 20 minutes following the first game. Looking back is Redding at the belt. And the pitch. It's a strike on the outside corner, the extreme outside corner. Straight up at 4 o'clock, this is Morgan County's B106 KPRB. Brush, Fort Morgan. Again, Baker lays down the sign. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Just underway, Fort Morgan and Skyline at Legion Field. The pitch and the breaking ball's on the outside corner for a strike, a backdoor breaking ball. It is 0-2. Yeah, and it looks like this strike zone is stretched out a little bit horizontally. 0-2 to Gutierrez. Redding to the plate. Way outside, up and away with a fastball. A ball and 2 strikes. Both teams have played 5 games. The Mustangs at 3-2. Skyline is at 0-5. But as I mentioned, Skyline's competition has been really tough. I mean, this is not a bad baseball team whatsoever. Redding again at the belt. To the plate, and the time is called. Yeah, he's taking a lot of time. I think if there was a pitch clock, Redding would be right up against it because he's really focusing on the runner at second. And this is the advantage to the catcher because he's a left-handed hitter. He's got a clear lane to throw to third should Canar take off from second. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Redding looking back. And he's got a long pause. That's a good 4 to 5 seconds. The pitch, it's up and away. And I'm wondering if he's not taking too much time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's already thrown 14 pitches. He's only threw 2 plus batters. So you can worry about the runner, but you don't want that pitch count to elevate because you're so concerned with a runner, you're not throwing strikes. 2-2. Off of second is Canar, the pitch. And that one is off the glove of Baker. And now Kennard to third. There's the throw, the slide, the tag, and he's going to be in there. That'll go as a pass ball. It was 0-2. Now it's 3-2 to Emilio Gutierrez. The Mustangs will keep the infield back and concede the run for an out. The stretch by Chase Redding. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball letter high. It's a strikeout of Gutierrez. And there's two down. Here is Connor Ormsby. Yeah, the only time we'll attribute a baseball movie quote to a pitcher for any particular half inning is if he strikes out the side, unless pitchers normally don't make sparkling defensive plays because they're so close to the batter. Ormsby from the right side. Hitting .308, the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. No balls and one strike to Connor Ormsby. Baker setting up towards the outer part of the plate. The offering, and that one bounces in, blocked by the catcher. Tyler Baker, and the count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, just tuning in, a 3:55 first pitch today for game 1 of this doubleheader. Redding stretches at the belt. The offering. Swung on and lifted into right center field. That ball has hit very deep towards the track, and that one is gone. It's a 2-run homer for Connor Ormsby over the right center field fence. And Skyline with a 2-0 lead in the top of the first inning. Left a fastball up, and Ormsby got all of it. And the ball appears to be really flying out today. Even the double hit by Kennard was tagged well, but even though Chase Romero was giving chase, no pun intended, to that hit to begin the game, he had no shot. Here's Grayson Gomez. Gomez batting from the right side, hitting .308 as well. And the offering, and the breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Ideally, you'd like to average 15 pitches an inning. Redding is at 20. And the offering. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. Redding delivers up and away. 2-1, and the ratio is basically the story of the season. 11 balls, 11 strikes. Lots of good stuff, but a lot of pitches out of the zone. The offering. Swing and a miss on a sweeping breaking ball. And it's 1-2 to Grayson Gomez. Redding focusing in on that glove. The pitch. Fastball is up and in. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, the movie quote defensively for the Mustangs. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. From Pride of the Yankees was the name of the movie. 3-2. Oh, up and away. Not even close with that one. Lost him. It's a walk. And here is Matt Lanier. Second left-handed hitter in this lineup. Lanier batting .083. And Redding is racking up that pitch count in the first inning. Up to 25 for the senior. Here's the stretch. The pitch. Swung on and lifted foul. Out of play off to the left. Tried to jam him with a fastball. No balls and 1 strike to Matt Lanier. Skyline off to a 2-0 lead on the 2-run homer with 2 down by Connor Ormsby. Throw to first, and back in diving is Gomez. Redding at the belt. The pitch way outside. It's a great play there by Tyler Baker. It didn't curve at all, and it was about 5 feet outside. I don't know how he made the play. 1-1 to Matt Lanier. And this is part of the point I was making, is that these games are going to take as long as Major League games. In fact, the Rockies started at 210, the offering, and that is inside with a fastball. Let's see, the Rockies now taking on the Washington Nationals. They played for a couple of hours. That game's got to be at least in the 6th or 7th inning. Top of the 8th, it's 1-0 Colorado. So Kyle Freeland doing the job again. 2-1, here it is. Up and away, 3 balls and 1 strike. And there's no time limit in high school baseball. There is a run differential limit. If you're up by 10 runs after 5, then the game is over. But I believe both of these games will be pretty tight. 3-1, not even close. He walked him up and away again. 30 pitches thrown by Redding. And he's going to be challenged just to make it through 4 or 5 innings. You're limited to 110. And nearly a third of the way there. And here's Braden Hufford's second consecutive walk issued by the right-hander. He walked an 083 hitter, Hufford from the right side, hitting 143. Runners off first and second, the pitch. And that's a strike on the inside corner. Took something off of that one. It's 0-1. A double, a bouncer to the mound, a strikeout, a 2-run homer, and then 2 walks. That's what Skyline has done in the first inning. The stretch and the pitch. And that is scooped up by Baker on the breaking ball in the dirt. Nice block, 1-1. Anytime you play a doubleheader with a pitch limit all across the way, you're going to be using up some pitchers. There's no question about it. Redding looking back. And the 1-1. Up and away again. 2 balls and 1 strike. 19 balls, 14 strikes so far in an inning that has lasted a half inning, nearly 15 minutes. Off of second is Gomez. At first is Lanier. 2-1 pitch. Up and in. 3-1. Josh Langford will pay a visit to the mound for sure if Hufford gets walked to load the bases. Evan Gale, who's hitting 286, one of their better hitters, is on deck. The pitch, swing and a miss. I mean, his fastball is electric, but it's got to find the strike zone. That one was letter high. The runners will be going. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 2-0 Skyline in the top of the first inning. Redding at the belt. 3-2. Swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. Going back is Langford. He dives and makes the catch. Charlie Langford with a tremendous defensive play. Well, that one is going to be attached to the movie quote after he laid out and made an awesome defensive play in shallow left center field, robbing Hufford of a base hit. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We head to the bottom of the first. Skyline 2. The Mustangs are coming to bat on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustang starting lineup brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. Borrow locally from people you know. Equitable has been providing personal bankers to help you through all the steps. Stop by one of 10 locations across the plains or visit equitable-savings.com. For the Mustangs, batting first is the shortstop Charlie Langford. Trey Romero hits second. David Keller's the third hitter. The DH Jason Diaz is in the cleanup position. Joseph Layden hits fifth. Noah Aguirre sixth. Batting seventh, the pitcher Chase Redding. Jaden Carrera hits eighth, and Tyler Baker bats ninth. Defensively, Evan Gales at first. Samuel Carmona at second. Grayson Gomez at third. And between them is Colin Wright at short. The left fielder is Matt Lanier, and the pitch is a fastball upstairs. Jonathan Canar in center. Right fielder is Connor Ormsby behind the plate. is Emilio Gutierrez, right-hander Jake Clifford. And we'll have the movie quote here for Charlie Langford coming up. The pitch, and that's a fastball for a strike at the knees. From Mr. Baseball, we're not athletes. We're baseball players. We'll see if that makes the final three based on this at bat. The offering. Breaking ball swung on in line and a dive for a base hit. Into left center field is Colin Wright laid out. And Charlie Langford continues to club the ball. He's done that all season. Even though we're just 5 games in, Langford came in batting .600. There's Trey Romero, the sophomore. Solid hitter himself, hitting .316. We'll see if he starts game 2 on the bump. Baseball quote for him, "You guys are guests in my corn." Pitch is a ball from Field of Dreams. 1 ball and no strikes for the right-hander Jake Clifford. And the pitch, that's a strike on the outside corner with a fastball, and the count levels at 1-1. Get some numbers here on Clifford. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stepping out is Romero. Clifford with an ERA of 8.69. Not too much else on him. These are partial stats. And that pitch is a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. To Trey Romero. Langford with a 3-step lead. 2-0 Skyline and a 2-run homer by Connor Ormsby. The pitch, runner goes up and away. Throw to second is going to be right there, and Langford's going to be out by a mile as the tag was applied by Colin Wright on a bullet thrown by Emilio Gutierrez. That was a perfect throw, and it is a 3-1 count on the 2-6. That is a great throw there by Gutierrez. The pitch swung on and fouled to the screen. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is David Keller. Romero awaits the pitch. Swung on and lifted foul. Fastball tailing in. Fouled it down the left side. Stays at 3 balls and 2 strikes. To sophomore Trey Romero. And Clifford is operating out of the stretch with the bases empty. And the pitch, that is a little bit low and in. Romero didn't know it was ball 4. I thought it was going to be rung up. Well, I don't know if he thought it was going to be rung up, but he had no idea that was ball 4 because he just stayed in the box. So you want a little bit more focus out of your hitters. David Keller, movie quote for him from the movie 61. You're right. Don't talk to them. That's Mickey Mantle's character talking to Roger Maris about not talking to the media. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Over the heart of the plate, no balls and 1 strike. Keller, a senior, batting .444. And the pitch. Swing and a foul tip of the plate. Count is at 0-2 unless it was dropped there by Gutierrez, but same swing, same result. No balls and 2 strikes to the Mustang center fielder David Keller. 2-0 Skyline in the bottom of the first inning. Romero with a short lead at first. Could have had first and second with nobody out. The pitch, and that fastball's outside. Well spotted, but it was off the plate. 1-2 to David Keller. Gutierrez lays down the sign. The stretch by Clifford, the right-hander. And the pitch. Breaking ball is blocked by Gutierrez. That thing in the dirt, nowhere close. It's 2-2. Chase Redding, once he takes the mound for the second inning, he's got to figure out a way to throw strikes. He threw nearly 40 pitches in the first. 2-2 to Keller. And the offering. And that is over but low. 3-2. And even Clifford working up on some pitches here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, 1 on. 2-0 Skyline. Bottom of the first inning in game 1. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Gutierrez throws to second, but it's going to be late. It's a stolen base for Romero as Keller strikes out, 2 down. Jason Diaz hitting .286. The baseball movie quote for Diaz from Bull Durham. I'm just happy to be here. One that could be in the final 3 is Charlie Langford with that defensive play he made in the top of the first inning. Stretch by Clifford. Open stance for Diaz, the pitch. Swing and a miss with a fastball. On the inner half, it's 0-1. Off of second is Romero. Pitch to Diaz. That is outside. Just off the corner, it's 1-1. Mustangs and Frederick Eagles will be here on Saturday morning with Brian Nickel calling that game. And the 1-1 pitch. That is low with a fastball. Ball 2, strike 1. Let's see, the Rockies are still in that 8th inning. And it looks like the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th now, 1-0. Game's taken over 2 hours. And the pitch. Up and in with a heater. Ball 3, strike 1 to Diaz. Right now, if this game goes 7 innings, we're on pace for over 400 pitches, and that's only in game 1. So again, the pitching has got to pick up. 3-1 to Diaz. To the plate. Fastball, strike 2. On the outer half, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Langford's single was caught stealing. Trey Romero walked. He stole second off the strikeout of David Keller, and now it's a 3-ball, 2-strike pitch to Diaz. That is outside, just off the corner. 3rd walk issued. 2 by the Mustangs, the first by Skyline. Here's Joseph Layden.
Number 10, Joseph Layden.
Layden hitting .167. Runners take their leads. The pitch. Swing and fisted foul. Not a play behind the screen. It's 0-1. Crowd is settling into Legion Field. We'll be here till at least 8:30. You figure at least 8:30, not 9 o'clock tonight. It feels like a full day of baseball. The pitch. Fastball, strike 2. On the outer half, belt high to Joseph Layden. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 2-0 Skyline in the bottom of the first inning. Romero at second, Diaz at first. The pitch, swing and a miss. And the movie quote for Layden that I had skipped by was, "Baseball is very hard," from $1 Million Arm. We'll continue with that coming up in inning number 2. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 left. To the second we go in game 1. Skyline 2, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the top of the second inning. Skyline 2, Fort Morgan nothing on a 2-run homer by Connor Ormsby. Falcons will send up the bottom of the order, 8, 9, and 1. Evan Gale, Colin Wright, and Jonathan Kennard against right-hander Chase Redding, who labored through the first inning with 36 pitches. Evan Gale about to step in. Gale batting .286. third left-handed hitter in this lineup, a well-balanced lineup for Skyline. In their most recent game, they lost to Meade 10-8. That was their closest loss of the season. They had some one-sided losses against out-of-state competition. Chase Redding to the plate. A little bit low and away with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes after a 36-pitch first inning. Baker lays down the sign. And the 1-0. That's right there for a strike on the inner half. Took something off for that one. The count is at 1-1. Yeah, the idea right now is pitch to contact. You pitch to contact, you minimize the pitch count. Redding delivers, and that one bounces to the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here to the first hitter at the top of the second inning, Evan Gale. The offering, swing and a miss. There's lots of swing and misses, even though the strikes have been limited. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another heater right there. Evan Gale awaits. Redding's got 1 strikeout in the game. Breaking ball is up and in. Surprised he went to that pitch after he just blew a fastball by Gale. The defensive quote in this inning from the movie Major League, win the whole thing. There's a word between whole and thing, but I'm not using that one. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and in. And it's a strikeout of Evan Gale. Quality pitch by Chase Redding. 1 down in the top of the second for Colin Wright. Needed that one badly. Wright has had just 1 plate appearance this season. He's 0 for 1. The 9th hitter and a right-handed batter. Open stance. See if that gives Chase some confidence in this second inning. The offering. Swung on and grounded foul towards the Mustang dugout on the third base side. One-stop shopping does exist at Stubbs Gas and Oil off I-76 and exit 66A in Wiggins. Gas, food, and all your travel accessories, Stubbs Gas and Oil. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch. Breaking ball is outside. 1-1 to Colin Wright. Connor Ormsby with a 2-run homer in the first inning. That's accounted for the scoring in this game. The pitch. Strike with a fastball down the heart of the plate. Just above the knees, it's 1-2. Well, I figured at this point, just stick with that fastball. That fastball's been working for Redding when he gets it over. 1-2 pitch. But that one he overthrew, and he nearly fell off the rubber there. 2-2. Again, pitching versus throwing. That's essentially the distinction. And sometimes throwing can turn into overthrowing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here to Colin Wright. The offering. And swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. Baker's going to have to throw him out at first, and that completes a strikeout. And there's 2 down. Wright goes down. There's Jonathan Canar. Well, if Redding strikes out the side, he would land on the list. Next to a movie quote from Major League here. Win the whole thing. And again, we'll explain more of that later on. Jonathan Canar doubled and scored. The pitch and a check swing, but he went on the ball in the dirt. Nice breaking ball thrown by Redding. It's no balls and 1 strike. Canar waiting. Open stance. Big time open stance. Redding delivers. Fastball is upstairs and the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, that top of the first inning was full of everything. A double, strikeout, a bouncer to the mound, a home run, and that pitch is in the dirt, 2-1, 2 walks before Fort Morgan finally got out of it. on a sparkling defensive play by shortstop Charlie Langford. And the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball is down and in. 3-1. Yeah, there's no doubt the fastball is working better for Reading than the breaking ball, but they're still calling the fastball for some reason. 3-1. That is, a little bit high. Well, I thought that hit the top of the strike zone, so did Reading. And it's walk number 3. Samuel Carmona grounded back to the mound in his first at bat. Get another check on the Rockies here. Should be in the 9th inning. Nope, they've already won the game. Throw back to first, nothing doing. Let's see, they won that game probably at about 2 hours and 10 minutes. We'll get an official time because I have a feeling both of these games in 7 innings will go just as long as the Rockies Nationals. The pitch, runner going, and it's bunted right back to the mound, and charging and throwing to first is Reading to complete the out. Excellent defensive play by the Mustang pitcher. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We head to the bottom of the 2nd inning in Fort Morgan. It's Skyline 2, the Mustangs nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. In Game 1 from Legion Field, 2-0 Skyline leads Fort Morgan heading to the bottom of the 2nd inning. And for the Mustangs, they'll send up the 6, 7, and 8 batters. Noah Aguirre, Chase Redding, and Jaden Carrera against right-hander Jake Clifford. Connor Ormsby delivered a 2-run homer off Reading with 2 down in the top of the 1st inning to account for the only runs. The quotes for Aguirre from 8-man out. Damn, if you don't feel like you're going to live forever. Okay. I don't remember that line at all. If you don't feel like you're going to live forever. From 8-man out. The pitch. And the breaking ball is in the dirt. 8-Man Out was an excellent movie. Outstanding movie. 1 ball and no strikes. We will see what the baseball quote of the game is and which player's special play was attributed to that. We'll have the final 3 every game that I'm calling this season. The fastball is down and away at 2-0 to Noah Aguirre, batting 200. Sophomore. Awaits the pitch out of the stretches. Clifford with the bases empty. Swung on and fouled off to the right. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, Game 2 slated to start at 6 o'clock. Or 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. The offering bounces in. Scooped up by Emilio Gutierrez. It's 3-1. Mustangs did have 2 on in the 1st inning before that rally was thwarted. The pitch, swing and a foul tip into the glove of Gutierrez. It's 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Aguirre. 2-0 Skyline. Bottom of the 2nd inning. The offering, swing and a miss on a fastball. Threw it right by him. A late swing by Aguirre. And there's 1 down. Here's Chase Redding. That is strikeout number 3 already for Clifford. Movie quote for Redding. Oh, I like this one. This is from Rookie of the Year. Pitcher's got a big butt. The pitch. Strike. You'll hear some of these again throughout the course of the game. We'll recycle some of these unless one of them has been taken up by a candidate already, like Charlie Langford from Pride of the Yankees. The offering. That's a fastball right there to Redding. It's 0-2. Redding batting .333. Jake Clifford stretches. And the pitch. Called strike 3, fastball on the outside corner. Good pitch at the knees, 2 down. For Jaden Carrera, movie quote for him from Field of Dreams. People will come, Ray. People will come. From James Earl Jones. who played Terrence Mann in the movie. The offering, fastball down the middle for a strike. And Jake Clifford is not messing around. Carrera, freshman, hitting 125. He's out of the 8-hole. The pitch, over but low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rockies did win 1-0, as we mentioned, on a Chris Bryant RBI single in the 5th inning. The offering, that's a fastball, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 down, bases empty, bottom of the 2nd inning. Skyline leads Fort Morgan 2-0. Laying down the sign is Gutierrez. The pitch, swing and a miss. And what a job done there by Jake Clifford, as Clifford strikes out the side in the 2nd. To the 3rd we go. The Mustangs got to keep it at 2-0. Skyline with the lead on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back at Fort Morgan, 2-0 Skyline, and a 2-run homer in the top of the 1st inning by Connor Ormsby. And the Mustangs have not been able to solve the right-hander Jake Clifford, even just through 2 innings. They have struck out 5 times. Here is Emilio Gutierrez. Emilio Gutierrez is the hitter. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on and driven into the left center field gap. That's going to be a base hit. Nice job of Aguirre closing that gap to get to that baseball. But Skyline has their 3rd hit of the game. Here's Ormsby, the Mustang quote defensively, baseball movie quote from Moneyball. How can you not be romantic about baseball? If a player makes a special play defensively, then they're a candidate for the baseball movie quote of the game. Right now, there's only one candidate on the outstanding play made by Charlie Langford from Pride of the Yankees. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth, and that movie is, 70 years old? It's a long time ago. Lou Gehrig said that in his speech 2 years before he died of ALS, now known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Redding to the belt. Throw back to first, and it's dug out nicely by Romero. That could have been a little bit of trouble. Beautiful day, 51 degrees at first pitch. That temperature, I'm sure, will drop as the wind is gusting a little bit. 2-step lead at first. And the pitch, fastball is a little bit up and in. 1 ball and no strikes to Connor Ormsby. Grayson Gomez is on deck. The stretch and the offering, and that fastball is very high, 2-0. All right, we mentioned concessions. Terry Rich is taking care of that today. $2 for Aquafina water. Sodas are $3, snacks and candy, and they got it all there. Snickers, Milky Way, Sour Patch, $2. Hot dog or hamburger, $3, but if you have chips and a drink, that's a total of only $5. Fastball is up and in. Redding's already walked 3 batters in the game. See, $1 for popcorn and sweet trail mix, Planters nuts. The count sitting at 3 balls and no strikes to Ormsby. The pitch, and that fastball is up and in as well. Ormsby walks. Here's Grayson Gomez. First and second, nobody out. Gomez was walked his first time up. Well, Redding has proven that if he can throw it in the strike zone, he's tough to hit. 3 strikeouts for Redding, but 4 walks. A single and a walk to begin the 3rd inning. The pitch, scooped up by Baker, down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. 33 balls, 25 strikes for Redding. Trying to get through at least 5 innings. That would be not ideal, but better than the alternative. Redding at the belt. And the 1-0. That one scoops in to the glove of Baker, 2-0. Bounces right in. Nothing the catcher can do with 2 balls and no strikes. Gutierrez at second, Ormsby at first. The offering, up and in. That is 7 consecutive out of the zone for Chase Redding. 3-0. Matt Lanier is in the on-deck circle. The pitch. That's a strike on the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike. Got to find 2 more there. You would think Gomez is going to be taking, unless that's a fat pitch down the middle. 3-1. The offering, way outside. Walk number 5 issued. Here comes Josh Langford and catcher Tyler Baker out to the mound. Matt Lanier walked his first time up. And usually it's a combination of a mechanical issue and obviously just something you got to get out of your head. Skyline's already got a 2-0 lead with the bases full and nobody out in the top of the 3rd inning. Redding was very good in the 2nd inning. And it's got to figure it out right now before Coach Langford goes to the bullpen. Does not want to do that for at least 2 to 3 innings. Well, that conversation breaks up. And let's see if Redding pitches out of the windup with the bases loaded. The Mustangs are playing the infield back. They just want outs. Still in this game, down 2-0. Pitch by Redding. Swung on and lifted into fair territory down the left side. Now drifting foul. Langford is there, and nobody can make the catch. I think he overran it. Oh, that ball was along the left field line, but it was overrun. Should have been made. And it's just a strike. Man, you've got to help out your pitcher there. That appeared to be routine, but I think it was overrun by Langford, and it's 0-1. Oh, that hurts. And it hurts even more if Lanier comes through. Line in the pitch, and that's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Redding's best bet is that high fastball. Get him to swing under it, get a pop-up like you just had 2 pitches ago. And the offering, and that nearly hit him. Backing out was Lanier, 2-1. Gutierrez, Ormsby, and Gomez on the bases. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2-0 Skyline, top 3. And the pitch. Swung on and lifted into shallow left field. Langford to his right is going to make the catch. And the throw back to second. Out at second base. And doubled up is Connor Ormsby. A huge play. Another excellent play there by Charlie Langford. And there's 2 down. A huge play. So that's going to go. That's going to go 6-4. Eliminating the runner at second. Here's Braden Hufford. Well, give Langford another one there. On another defensive play made by him from the movie Moneyball. He's attributed to 2 plays defensively, but I think the first is better than the second. So here's Hufford stepping in. And that pitch is a strike down the heart of the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Hufford, in fact, hit that little liner that was caught by Langford in shallow left center. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. 0-2. Chase Redding walked the bases loaded and might get out of this unscathed. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners at the corners. The stretch. The pitch. And that is a fastball, a little bit low and away, 1-2. He wanted to get Hufford chasing, but he laid off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Redding to the plate. Curveball is a little bit upstairs, a little bit high. That was close. 2-2. It was all over the plate, just a little bit above the letters. If that hitter's taller, I think they would have rung him up. Is Redding going to go out of the windup? Yeah. Nope. Now he's going to reposition himself. Got to be careful you don't balk. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 2-0 Skyline. The offering. Swing and a miss with a fastball right by Hufford. And Chase Redding gets out of that jam in the top of the 3rd inning. But Charlie Langford gets his name back on the board for the baseball movie quote of the game with "How can you not be romantic about baseball" for the movie Moneyball. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning, Skyline 2, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. I'm Sean Beltran back from Legion Field, bottom of the 3rd inning. Skyline 2, Fort Morgan nothing. Tyler Baker will lead off, and his movie quote from the movie For Love of the Game. And tonight I think he might be able to use that aching old arm one more time to push the sun back up in the sky and give us one more day of summer. Now, these baseball movie quotes are important, not to remember, but to acknowledge, because the fans will benefit from this once we get to the end of every game. They will benefit, and I will explain that a little bit later on. The pitch, swing and a miss. Jake Clifford struck out the side in the 2nd inning. He's got 5 strikeouts in the game. Baker awaits. That's a fastball for a strike on the outer half, hitting 250. No balls and 2 strikes to the senior catcher. Stretch by Clifford. And the offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball above the letters. And that's 4 consecutive strikeouts by Jake Clifford. There's 1 down. Here's Charlie Langford.
Junior, number 15, Charlie Langford.
Langford with a base hit, then caught stealing. Open stands for Langford. The stretch. And the offering. Fastball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. 2 runs on 3 hits for Skyline. No runs on 1 hit for Fort Morgan. The Falcons have stranded 5. The Mustangs have left 2 on base. The offering. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner. Bell tie. The count levels at 1-1. To Charlie Langford. He's already had a couple of movie quotes attributed to him. Swung on and fouled off to the right. For this at bat, it's from the movie The Natural. God, I Love Baseball. No balls and 2 strikes. Make it 1 ball and 2 strikes to Langford. Junior shortstop. The pitch. Swung on and fouled. He just reached his bat out and got a piece of it. Yeah, the one thing that the Mustangs don't have a ton of, they've got a little bit of it, is experience. Langford, Layden, Keller. The pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Langford came in hitting .600, got a base hit his first time up, the only hit for Fort Morgan. But again, eliminated on the bases. It'll stay at 1-2. Base is empty. Jake Clifford is on a roll. The pitch, and that one is off the glove of Gutierrez. Counted 2-2. Yeah, you want to get Clifford out of the game because he's throwing well. He's throwing really well. He had 5 strikeouts through 2, and then he struck out Baker to begin the 3rd. But tough to strike out Charlie Langford. He's a really good contact hitter. The pitch swung on and lifted into right field, and ranging to his left and making the 2-handed grab is Connor Ormsby. 2 down. 2 down for Trey Romero. Movie quote from him is from The Rookie. You tell me right now, Jimmy Morris. That's when Jimmy Morris's wife got the call from Jimmy Morris telling her that he had been promoted to the majors. The pitch, and that's down and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Romero walked and stole a base in the first inning. 2-0 Skyline, bottom 3, game 1 of this doubleheader. The pitch swung on and grounded foul off the end of the bat towards the third base side. Count even at 1-1. And Fort Morgan's going to face lots of tough pitching this year, without a doubt. Good pitching across the board. The offering and the breaking ball is upstairs, and the count goes to 2-1. The board has 0-1 for some reason. It should be 2-1 to Trey Romero. 51 pitches deep as Clifford. The offering up and away. Now the count is at 3-1. Clifford has walked 2 in the game, so he's not been flawless. And the offering swung on, line towards right center field for a base hit. A base hit into right center. That's the second hit of the game for the Mustangs. It comes from Trey Romero with 2 down in the third inning. And here is David Keller. Keller's quote comes from the Bad News Bears, 1976. Hey, Yankees, take your apology and your trophy. And there's more to that quote, but we'll keep it right there. Keller struck out his first time up. Stepping off is Clifford. Yeah, we should have about another hour and a half of sunlight. The pitch, fastball is upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. That's a beautiful swing there by Trey Romero, just to guide that baseball into right center field. The stretch and the offering, swing and a miss. He pulled that front side a bit, and the count is at 1-1. That would have been an ideal pitch to go to right center, just like Romero did. Let's see if he tries to stay away from Keller. The pitch swung on and popped up into shallow left field along the third baseline now, and backing up and making the catch is Grayson Gomez. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. To the fourth we go. It's Skyline 2, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Skyline 2, Fort Morgan nothing, headed to the top of the fourth inning. All right, the baseball movie quote defensively will come from the natural. Pick me out a winner, Bobby. From Robert Redford. Evan Gale, Colin Wright, and Jonathan Canar for Skyline. Canar struck out swinging his first time up. Pitch from Redding. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. 8, 9, and 1. That was the order in the second inning. As well for Skyline. Swing and a miss at a pitch tailing away. And the count levels at 1-1 to the left-hander hitting Evan Gale. 2 runs on 3 hits for Skyline. No runs, 2 hits for the Mustangs. And the offering. Breaking ball is lifted foul, out of play off to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Game 2 scheduled to start at 6 o'clock. That'll depend, obviously, on the length of this game. 1-2 to Gale. Chase Redding delivers in the dirt with a breaking ball. Ball 2, strike 2. Yeah, you want a 1-2-3 inning. Redding's already at 75 pitches. He's down to 35 max. The offering, and that one bounces in as well. 3-2. And it has been a challenge for the right-hander. Walked the bases loaded earlier. And that is, up and away on a breaking ball that barely missed. Redding thought he had strike 3, but tough to get calls when the strikes had not been consistent. That's the 6th walk issued by Reading. Here's Colin Wright, who struck out his first time up. Skyline's hit just 2 balls hard. Obviously, the home run by Ormsby and the double to begin the game by Jonathan Canar. Short lead at first for Gale. And squaring to bunt, and that pitch is in the dirt. Nice block by Baker. 1 ball and no strikes. Oh, they did call it a strike. Yep. 0-1. They didn't pull the bat back. The offering, squaring to bunt. That time he pulled the bat back. 1-1. I got to keep my eyes on the game. Be a good idea. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 on, nobody out. 2-0 Skyline, top of the 4th inning. Game 1 of the doubleheader. Throw back to first, and back in diving is Gale. We have played an hour and 5 minutes. Will either of these games be longer than the 2 hours and 12 minutes the Rockies played today against the Nationals in a 1-0 victory? The pitch squaring to bunt, and that one's laid down beautifully up the first base side, barehanded by Reading. Throw to first for the out. That sacrifice will go 1-3. That is the beauty of a good bunt there. Here's Jonathan Canar. And that's what you want your number 9 hitter to do. That's what Colin Wright did. Canar's been on base twice. He doubled and walked. He scored on the 2-run homer by Connor Ormsby. And runs are at a premium in this game with just a 2-0 lead for Skyline in the 4th inning. The pitch, swing and a miss and a breaking ball. No balls and 1 strike. No wind to speak of whatsoever, although the ball did carry quite a bit in that first inning. Reading looking back. And the offering. Swing and a miss on the ball in the dirt. Skips up the third base side. Baker spins, turns, throws to third, and that's going to be late. Throw it on the outside portion of the line. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at third. This is the top of the hour. Just past 5 o'clock on Morgan County's B106 KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan. No balls, 2 strikes. The infield playing in. Reading trying to come up with a strikeout, and that is over but low. Wow, Reading thought he had strike 3, but must have been a little bit below the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that is as good an eye as you'll ever see. Canar awaits. The pitch in the dirt with a breaking ball. Nice block by Baker. 2-2, and the curveball has not really been consistent today for Reading. That fastball has been a lot better. However, when Canar got a base hit, it was a fastball. Swung on and tapped foul just behind the catcher, Baker. Remains at 2-2. Again, anything hit to an infielder, the play will be at the plate if Gale takes off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reading delivers. Breaking ball. Where did that miss? Boy, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that looked like it was there. Must have been down and away. I have no idea. That must have been down and away. That got a lot of the plate. 3-2. He might have to go fastball here. The pitch. That is down and away. It's a walk. 7th walk issued by Reading. He's got to be frustrated by that 2-2 pitch. He thought he had strike 3. And here's Samuel Carmona, who grounded to the mound. Then he tried to bunt his way on, and Reading threw him out as well. 0 for 2. Well, the middle of the infield will be a double play depth. And you would assume Carrera's on the edge of the grass at third. Let's see if they send the runner from first to get the Mustangs into a situation where they might have to make a play. One down, top of the fourth inning. Skyline leads Fort Morgan 2-0 on a 2-run homer by Connor Ormsby. Stretch by Redding, and the pitch. Swung on and grounded right side. That'll score a run. To his left is Layden. Sidearms to first for the out. Carmona gets the RBI. Gale crosses home plate. And Skyline leads 3-0. And all he did there was stick out his bat. Here's Emilio Gutierrez, who has struck out and singled. Again, the defensive quote of this inning from the natural, pick me out a winner, Bobby, even though that's an offensive quote from a baseball movie. Lots more of those coming up. The stretch. The pitch. Popped up in the infield. Who's going to call for it? Third baseman Carrera is can't make the play. And now the batter to second. That's just going to drop. He never was able to make the play. And it landed. I don't think he got a glove on the ball. Oh, man. Well, we got to score that in air. Has to be scored in air. That should have been an easy play. And I don't know what Kennard was doing. That was horrendous base running by Kennard. He should have scored. If the hitter gets to second, how in the world is the runner from second not at home plate? That was terrible base running. Here's Connor Ormsby. The pitch. Breaking ball. What a backhanded play by Baker. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, that ball drifted a little bit. But Carrera should have had that one. Never got a glove on it. The pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. The count is at 1-1. That's the first error of the game. And what makes it worse is that Redding has to extend his pitch count. He's at 91 on what should have been the final out of the inning. And I don't think Carrera ever got completely underneath that baseball. And the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Might have been foul tipped into the glove of Baker. It's 1-2. 3-0 Skyline, top of the fourth inning. They've got 2 runners in scoring position. Got to keep it at 3-0. The Mustangs have 2 hits. And that's it in this game. Both singles. One from Langford, the other from Trey Romero. The pitch. Swung on and popped up. Let's see if a play is made here. Joseph Layden coming in, and the second baseman makes the grab. That looked like a little bit of an adventure, but a nice job of Layden sticking with a baseball on a major league pop-up. And that does it in the top of the fourth inning. 1 run, no hits. A Mustang error and 2 left. To the bottom of the fourth we go in 1 minute. It's Skyline 3, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Skyline in game 1 of the doubleheader leads Fort Morgan 3-0 behind a 2-hitter from Jake Clifford. Jason Diaz, the DH, will lead off in this bottom of the fourth inning. He walked his first time up. Here's the stretch. And the offering. Swung on and lifted towards center field. Should be a routine play for Kennard going back and making the one-handed grab. 1 down. And the movie quote for Jason Diaz was from Field of Dreams, "Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch, but it will not be in the final 3 because it was a pop-out." Now Joseph Layden from Bull Durham, and the only church that truly feeds the soul day in and day out is the Church of Baseball. That's the quote that Joseph Layden is playing for in the bottom of the fourth inning. The offering. Fastball, a strike down the middle at the knees. Noah Aguirre will hit next. Stretch and the offering. That's strike 2. Nothing fancy about that pitch. Another fastball, no balls and 2 strikes to Layden. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a fastball above the letters. Layden strikes out on 3 pitches, 2 down. Strikeout number 7 for Jake Clifford.
Sophomore, number 13, Noah Aguirre.
Here's Aguirre. He struck out his first time up. Movie quote for Aguirre. Oh, here we go. From a league of their own, there's no crying in baseball. Delivered by the Tom Hanks character, Jimmy Dugan. The pitch. Fastball is off the glove of Gutierrez. 1 ball and no strikes. Skyline leads 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. A 2-run homer by Connor Ormsby in the 1st inning. RBI ground out then in the 4th. The pitch bounces in. 2 balls and no strikes. RBI groundout came from Samuel Carmona. Clifford to the plate. Fouled off to the right. Challenged Aguirre with a fastball. And the count is at 2-1. Game starting to move along a little bit. A very slow 1st inning. Laying down the sign is Gutierrez. The pitch bounces in. He short-armed that baseball. 3 balls, 1 strike. Chase Redding on deck can help his own cause. Yeah, when you're the home team and right out of the gate it's 2-0, you're playing catch-up the whole game with a young team. Not easy to do. 3-1 pitch, and that is inside with a fastball. Aguirre walks.
Now batting, senior number 2, Chase Redding.
3rd walk issued by Jake Clifford. Here's Redding, struck out looking on 3 pitches. Quote for him from the movie Major League, 1989. This guy here is dead. When they were looking over the Indians roster. Swung on and fouled off to the right. So that's the quote for Chase Redding. We only have 2 candidates so far. We'll have a top 3. And the candidates can be on defense as well. And then I'll let you know at the end of the game 1 how fans can get involved. The pitch. Ooh, a little bit low. I thought for sure that was going to be a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down, bottom of the 4th inning. Skyline with 2 runs in the 1st and 1 in the 4th inning. Mustangs have been held off the board. Short lead at first. The pitch. Fastball, strike 2. On the outer half, thigh high to Chase Redding. One ball, 2 strikes. Short lead, very short lead for Aguirre at first. Swung on and popped up into shallow right center field. Over to his right is Ormsby. He will make the 2-handed grab. And the Mustangs are done in the 4th inning. For Fort Morgan, no runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We head to the 5th. Skyline 3, Fort Morgan nothing in Game 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Chase Redding begins his 5th inning of work, but he's running out of pitches. Skyline leads 3-0. And Redding is at 93 pitches, so he's got to get out of this frame quickly. Earlier today, the Rockies in 2 hours and 18 minutes beat the Nationals 1-0. So let's see if either game goes that long. Right now, we're at 1 hour and 19 for Game 1 of this doubleheader. And still, this and 2 more innings to go. Grayson Gomez has walked twice. The pitch swung on, line down the right field line. That is trouble. That's a base hit. Romero gets to that baseball, then drops it, recovers, picks it up. Gomez to second. He slides. He's in there. That'll be a single and an error on the right fielder, Romero. Second error committed by the Mustangs. The defensive quote for this inning from Moneyball, it's incredibly hard. In reference to playing first base for Scott Hatteberg. So if any Mustang makes a great defensive play, they'll be attributed to that movie quote at the end of the game. Matt Lanier's walked and popped out. 3-0 Skyline in the 5th inning. The pitch swung on, line into center field, and that's a base hit. It takes a huge hop. Keller fields it, runner around third, and Gomez. The throw's up the third base side, and it bounces all the way to the screen. And now to third is Lanier. The throw, and that one's going to skip into left center field, thrown away by Redding. And it's going to be 5-0. It's an RBI single by Lanier. Then the Mustangs commit 2 errors 2 throwing errors that allowed the run to score. Mustangs now have 4 errors in the game and 3 in this inning. That was tough. So 2 errors charged on that play on throws that got away. And now there's Coach Langford to the mound. Skyline has their second 2 spot of the game after the 2-run homer by Ormsby in the first. Yeah, the throw was up the third base side, but then nobody was there to track it down. Then Redding got it through to third, and that one just sailed into left center field. Braden Hufford has lined out and struck out. Sitting at 0 for 2. And we are going to have a pitching change, and we'll take it with them. We're in the 5th inning with the score. Skyline 5, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. David Keller is the new pitcher, and that pitch is low. 1 ball and no strikes. 5-0 Skyline to Braden Hufford, who's 0 for 2. Here's the wind and pitch, and that's upstairs. Keller's been very good this season, a 1.75 ERA for the right-hander. Just trying to keep this at a 5-0 game. Wind and offering. Swung on and fouled at the plate. 1-2. Check that, 2-1. You can close the book on Chase Redding since nobody's on base. We'll get to his numbers momentarily. The pitch. Outside. 3-1. Redding goes 4+ innings, 95 pitches. 5 runs, 4 earned, 7 walks, 4 strikeouts. Swing and a miss. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Braden Hufford. This is game 1 of a doubleheader. Skyline 0-5 going in, but up 5-0. And Keller to the plate. Outside, 8th walk issued by a Mustang pitcher. Evan Gale has struck out and walked.
Number 17, Evan Gale.
So Gale will now step into the batter's box. Brush Speed Diggers playing Prospect Ridge Academy right now on 1010 KSIR. Gale 0 for 1 officially. Throw back to first, back in diving is Hufford. See, the Mustangs can turn a double play or something quick just to get back into the dugout. That's down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Mustangs have thrown 6 different pitchers so far this year. Just trying to build some arms. Off of first is Hufford. Very conservative 2-step lead. 1-0. Swung on and lifted down the left field line, and that is out of play. Count is at 1 ball and 1 strike. To Braden Hufford. Colin Wright, or check that, to Evan Gale. Colin Wright is on deck. Concessions now open here at Legion Field. And they've got everything. Water, all types of soda, Snickers, Kit Kats, Twix, Milky Ways, popcorn, Planters nuts. Let's see, hot dogs, hamburgers. That meal deal, $5. Hot dog, chips, and a drink. That's as good as it gets. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 on, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning. Skyline 5, Fort Morgan nothing. The pitch swung on and drilled into deep right field, and that one is way out of here. That is a line drive home run for Evan Gale. A 2-run blast. Skyline has 4 in the inning. It's 7-0. And there was no doubt about that one. That was tattooed. It was down and in. And that's what a left-hander really likes. Second 2-run homer of the game. The first from Connor Ormsby. Here's Colin Wright. A strikeout and a sac bunt. So now the bottom of the order is getting the job done. The 5 through 8 hitters have all reached and scored in this 5th inning. It was 3-0 going into the frame, and now Skyline has opened this thing up to a 7-0 lead. David Keller to the plate. Breaking ball is a strike. That's a beauty. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Colin Wright. Wine and offering. And that's upstairs with a fastball. The count levels at 1-1. Yeah, I don't think game 2 will start at 6 o'clock. That's wishful thinking. It was wishful thinking to begin with. 6:30 was more realistic. The pitch. Low. And we started this game at 3:55. We're nearly an hour and a half in. 2 balls and 1 strike to Colin Wright. Still nobody out in the 5th inning with the bases empty. Keller gets a sign to the plate. Curveball is a strike. On the outer half of the count is level at 2-2. Keller square to the catcher. Turns and fires. Swung on and fisted, and it's going to be caught by Trey Romero, the first baseman, on a soft line drive. 1 down.
Number 2, Jonathan Canar.
Jonathan Canar has been up 3 times and on base 3 times. A double and 2 walks. There we go. We're back at it. Foul back, no balls and 1 strike. On the foul ball hit by Jonathan Canar. And the pitch swung on and grounded foul along the third base side. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, top of the 5th inning. Skyline is at 2 2-run homers in this game, and they lead 7-0. Baker setting up on the outside. 0-2 pitch. That is a called strike 3. An excellent fastball thrown there by David Keller. 2 down. And for Mustang pitching, that's their 5th strikeout. Reading had 4. Sam Carmona has grounded to the mound twice, once on a bunt attempt, and he's also grounded a second, driving in a run. Wind and pitch. Fastball is up and away. A ball and no strikes. And the defensive quote in this inning from Moneyball, it's incredibly hard on how to play first base. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Yeah, that's when the GM, played by Brad Pitt, told Scott Hatterberg, playing first base is easy. And Ron Washington, the head coach, or the one of the coaches, said, no, it's incredibly hard. And the offering. Curveball is swung on and popped up and fouled down the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To Samuel Carmona. The Mustangs were coming off a very convincing victory over Vista Peak. But this game has belonged to Skyline. Game 1 of a twin bill. 1-2. The offering. Swung on and grounded a second. Late in charges. Fields throws to first. Carmona's retired. 4 groundouts. And he's been retired every time. However, Skyline in the inning. 4 runs on 3 hits. 3 Mustang errors. And the bases were left empty. 4 1/2 innings are in the books. Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. 7-0 Skyline as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. Jaden Carrera will lead off. Well, let's see. No, I think we're going to have a pinch hitter. Yep. Miguel Davila will now hit in that spot. So he'll be the hitter to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. And Let's see, baseball movie quote for him is going to come from The Sandlot. You're killing me, Smalls. And in fact, tomorrow is the 30-year anniversary of that movie. April 7th of 1993. 30 years since that came out. So this is Miguel Davila. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball in the dirt. No balls and one strike. Jake Clifford has been on his game. He's allowed just 2 hits. The pitch. Fastball is down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. He has recorded 7 strikeouts. He has walked 3, and he's given up again just 2 hits. Stretch with the bases empty. The pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. 1-2 here to Miguel. They say Davila, although I've always said that's Davila. The offering, swing and a miss, a sweeping breaking ball, and Miguel was not ready for that one. He swung on and missed. Strikeout number 8. Tyler Baker for the movie Major League, just a bit outside. That's what we've got attributed to him. And the offering, fouled back on the breaking ball. 0-1 to Baker. I mean, that's all this Clifford has done. He's just thrown strikes. In fact, 46 strikes and 28 balls. He could go the distance easily. Swung on and grounded towards short, charging, fielding, gloving, throwing for the out is Colin Wright. Baker's retired, 2 down. Charlie Langford has singled and popped out. Well, let's get to his movie quote from Bull Durham. Lollygaggers. That'll be the one attributed to Charlie. Here in this bottom of the 5th inning, Skyline with a 7-0 lead. Again, this is meaningful to the fans out there because there's an incentive. And that fastball, boy, that brushed him back. 1 ball and no strikes. Langford has been the toughest hitter that Clifford has faced in this game, undoubtedly. Langford settles back into the box. 2 down and the base is empty. To the plate. Breaking ball is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Two 2-0 to Charlie Langford. The pitch, up and in with a fastball, and it's 3-0. Well, Langford probably will be taking down 7-0 in the bottom of the 5th inning. They believe in keeping things simple. Bank of Colorado, and that's a strike. Apply for the loan you need for your dream home fully online. Visit bankofcolorado.com for all the information. 3 balls and 1 strike. The stretch. Pitch to Charlie. Swung on and driven foul down the right side. 3-2. Langford had a base hit in the first. Trey Romero had a base hit in his second plate appearance, and that's it. Clifford still has 30 pitches to work with. 4 2/3 innings of 8 strikeout baseball. 3-2 to Langford. Jay Clifford, the right-hander, to the plate. Called strike 3. Fastball right down the middle. Langford was looking for a breaking ball, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jay Clifford. Skyline 7, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Jason Diaz is the 3rd pitcher for the Mustangs. He really struggled in his first outing against Sterling. We'll check out the numbers. The defensive movie quote from a baseball movie in this inning: a league of their own. The hard is what makes it great. From a league of their own. He'll face Emilio Gutierrez, 7-0 Skyline in the top of the 6th inning. Diaz needs a confidence booster on the mound. He's got an ERA of 42 after that outing against Sterling. Swung on line, base hit into left field along the left field line. And to his right is Aguirre getting to that baseball, heading for second, and now retreating towards first base is Gutierrez. And Skyline now has their 7th hit of the game. Gutierrez is 2 for 4. Logan Trusper will be the courtesy runner. Connor Ormsby with a 2-run homer. He's walked and he's popped out. 1 for 2. Skyline just had a 4 spot. That pitch is in the dirt, taking off with an easy stolen base. There is Trosper. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, they're trying to end this thing prematurely, but they got to score 3 runs and then hold Fort Morgan. 7-0 in the 6th inning. Diaz looks back. The pitch swung on and popped foul and out of play. And the count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. The game time temp was at 51 degrees. And now, just past 5:30, it's at 53. It's actually gotten warmer, but you know that's going to change at some point. The offering in the dirt on the breaking ball. Blocked by Baker. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jake Clifford, certainly the story of the game for Skyline. He has limited Fort Morgan to 2 hits. The pitch in the dirt. 3-1. This is the heart of the order for Skyline. 3, 4, and 5. Ormsby got the scoring started with a 2-run homer over the right center field fence. Evan Gale's also gone deep. That is outside, just off the corner. Barely missed, but that's been one of the issues the Mustangs have had. Walk number 9 issued by Fort Morgan pitching, 7 by the starter. Gomez has been on base all 3 times, a couple of walks and a base hit. First and second, nobody out of the 6th inning. The pitch, down and away with a heater, 1 ball and no strikes. I mean, Diaz is not missing by much, and out of third is Trosper. Now, he might have hurt himself. He might be banged up a little bit going into third base. 1 ball and no strikes. Start your associate degree, continue your education, or get a specialized certificate at morgancc.edu. That's Morgan Community College, morgancc.edu. On the web, first and third, nobody out. 1 ball, no strikes. Top 6, 7-0 Skyline. Gomez awaits, and that fastball is upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Matt Lanier will hit next. The pitch in the dirt. It's 3-0. And Lanier had a tremendous at-bat his last time up. 3-0 to Grayson Gomez. Will he be swinging away? He will not. Fastball down the middle for a strike. 3-1. Now Skyline has come to play. Swung on line into the right center field gap. That's a base hit. A run's going to score. The trail runner to third. The throw, the tag, and out at third base is Connor Ormsby. Into second is Grayson Gomez. Give him a single and an RBI. An excellent throw out in right field by Romero. Is applying the tag over at third base was Davila. And there's 1 down. So here is Lanier. That was a great throw there in right field. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs. Lanier walked, popped out, and singled. He had that base hit which drove in a run. Then the Mustangs on the same play committed 2 errors, and Lanier scored himself. And Skyline has scored in each of the last 3 innings. The pitch, down and in. Nice block there by Baker. It's 2-0. 2 runs in the first, 1 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth. They've got a run so far in the sixth, leading 8-0. And they've stranded 7. The Mustangs have only left 4 on base. 2 balls, no strikes, the offering. Swung on, lifted foul, and out of play off to the left. Count moves to 2-1. Game 2 is coming up. We're guessing first pitch will be at about 6:30. Mustangs just want to get out of this as quickly as possible. And Jake Clifford, if he continues to throw as well as he has, will have no trouble going the distance. Looking back to pitch. Way outside. 3-1, and the Mustangs have got to cut down on the base on balls. 9 issued in this game. 9. 3 balls, 1 strike. The offering, make it 10, very high. Braden Hufford has lined out, struck out, and walked. 0 for 2.
Number 4, Braden Hufford.
Only 1 out in this 6th inning. It came from a great throw out and right by Romero. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, the defensive quote of this inning from a league of their own. The heart is what makes it great. If we have any great defensive play, that'll be attributed to a Mustang. We'll mention that at the end of the game, and that fastball's upstairs is 2-0. We also have 1 quote per offensive batter for the Mustangs, but nothing special so far, only 2 hits, and they both been singles. But we did have a great play there by Romero in right field, so that's going to make it onto this one. 3-0. Yep, that's actually a candidate after that incredible throw in right field from Chase Romero. 3 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. That's high. It's a walk, and the bases are loaded. 11th walk issued by Mustang pitchers. So Fort Morgan's made 3 really, really good defensive plays in this game, and those are the candidates right now. Evan Gale launched a 2-run blast, a line drive over the right field fence. 1 inning ago, the pitch, and he swings and fists it to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. He had a pitch that he really wanted to tag, but he got underneath it. 0-1. Skyline broke it open with 4 runs in the 5th inning. Wine in the offering, and that's upstairs, and the count levels at 1-1. Diaz has thrown 22 pitches, only 6 have been strikes. And this is on their home field, where you'd figure they've got a lot of practice. Not even close again, very high. Ball 2, strike 1. 8-0 Skyline. Game 1 of the doubleheader in the top of the 6th inning. Wine and pitch. Swung on and drilled foul. That's got home run distance, but about 40 to 50 feet foul, and it's 2-2. Oh, man. Gale wants that one back. His 2-run homer in the previous inning gave Skyline a 7-0 lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases loaded. And the pitch inside. Oh, the umpire stepped back like I thought he was going to ring him up, but it was inside. 3-2. Big situation for Gale. Swung on and drilled to center field, coming on and diving and making the catch beautifully there is Keller. Tremendous play. We've had 4 very good defensive plays. Well, he's going to be a candidate in the inning as well. David Keller with a gorgeous play. Rarely do you have 2 candidates in 1 inning. But that's what happened there. There's only 1 quote defensively. There's 1 baseball quote for every single hitter. Colin Wright The pitch. That's a strike. The runner's held, by the way. Wright is struck out, a sac bunt, and then lined out. He's 0 for 2. Yeah, Keller saved a run, maybe 2. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs, and the count is leveled at 1-1. Again, game 2 will start 20 minutes, approximately 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes following game 1. The pitch. That's a strike on the outside half. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Colin Wright. Skyline with just a run across in this inning. The offering inside with a fastball. 2-2. Then Mustang arm's got to be getting tired. Mustang pitchers have thrown a total of 146 pitches in this game. Make it 147 and outside, 3-2. The runners will be going. A base hit in the outfield will score 2 because the runners will be taking off on this 3-ball, 2-strike, 2-out pitch from Jason Diaz. Here it is. Called strike 3 on the inner half. Jason Diaz with a quality pitch. And that limits Skyline to a run on 2 hits. No errors, and the bases were left loaded. Skyline, despite a big lead, is stranded 10. Skyline 8, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Skyline leads Fort Morgan 8-0. It could have been worse, believe it or not. Jake Clifford will face the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Trey Romero, David Keller, and Jason Diaz. Romero's baseball movie quote from the movie Cobb, 1994, starring Tommy Lee Jones. I ain't going to die before the story's finished. We have already multiple candidates for our baseball movie quote of the game attributed to a player based on a big play that's been made. And for the Mustangs, it's all been on defense. Romero, though, has 1 of the 2 base hits. The pitch, fastball is outside. He walked his first time up. The only Mustang to be on base each of his first 2 times. Jay Clifford with a pitch. Swung on and fouled to the backstop. It's 0, check it, 1-1. Nine locations across northeast Colorado and Nebraska means there's always a location close by at Rudy's Tires. They sponsor 10-10 preps and more, and that ball hits Romero on the right foot. Tried to skip out of the way. So he's on base for a 3rd consecutive time. All right, so here's David Keller. His movie quote from the movie Major League. Just a bit outside. From Harry Doyle, played by Bob Uecker. Short lead at first for Romero. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. Keller struck out and then popped out. He's 0 for 2. Stretch by Clifford, the pitch. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to David Keller. Skyline has a couple of 2-run homers in the game. They lead 8-0. Scoring the bunt, and he pulled the bat back. It's 2-1 on that fastball that was up and in. Yeah, I'm going to check out game times today. Well, the Giants beat the White Sox 16-6. That's got to be close to 3 hours. 250. Wow, that's impressive. They are moving the games along at the major league level. The pitch swung on and popped up along the right field line. And in foul territory, making the running catch, is Connor Ormsby. Back to first is Romero, 1 down. One down for Jason Diaz, who's walked and popped out. Diaz's movie quote from the movie 42. I don't think it matters what I believe, only what I do. That's his movie quote. The pitch, swing and a miss and a fastball. Above the letters, it's 0-1. Again, we'll explain all this a little bit later on. We're doing. I kind of explained it before the game. The pitch. That fastball's a strike at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes. Short lead at first for Romero. Stretch by Clifford. And the pitch. Swung on and popped up in the infield. The shortstop, Colin Wright, will give way to the second baseman, Carmona, behind the bag. Makes the grab. 2 down. 2 down here for Joseph Layden. Oh, nope, he won't hit in this spot. Jesus Franco. Yeah, Layden was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, so Franco will hit in this spot. And let's see, his movie quote will come from Field of Dreams. If you build it, he will come. Again, we'll have our top 3 movie quotes attributed to a player who made a great play. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball up and in. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, let's check out any numbers we have for Jesus. A junior, only 1 plate appearance, and that ball hit him. That's the second batter that Clifford has hit in the inning, and the second in the game. He has thrown 93 pitches. He might not go the distance if he continues to not find the strike zone. Here's Noah Aguirre, who struck out and walked. Okay, so let's see. And we're going to bring back a lot of these quotes in game 2. Okay, from Aguirre, from the movie Major League. Personally, I think we got hosed on that call. That'll be the line for Aguirre. So far, we have no candidates from the offensive end. Pitch is swung on and fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. Clifford has thrown 94 pitches through 5 2/3. And has struck out 9 in the game. 2 on, 2 down for the Mustangs. They trail Skyline in game 1 of this doubleheader, 8-0. The stretch. Clifford with a pitch. Fastball is upstairs, and the count moves to 1-1. Fort Morgan 3-2 going in. Skyline is 4 outs away from their first win of the year, but this is what we documented at the outset of the broadcast. A pretty good 0-5 team. Swung on in line down the right field line. That's a base hit. Romero's around third, headed towards the plate. The relay. Now the throw's going to be made. Nope, not towards third. Looking over at third. Nobody there. Romero slides in safely. It's an RBI single by Noah Aguirre. And the Mustangs are on the board. It's 8-1. And now we could have a pitching change. Chase Redding will step in. Good job of base running by Franco getting to third. Just a visit right now. Well, we finally have a candidate on the offensive end with Aguirre's RBI single. Now for Chase Redding. Baseball movie quote for him from Moneyball. This is how we do business in Cleveland. Cleveland is referenced not only in Moneyball, but of course in the movie Major League. All right, Redding has struck out and popped out. He's 0 for 2. And Jake Clifford will remain in the game. We've hit exactly 2 hours. And Fort Morgan has gotten that 0 off the board. But Clifford is in danger of not being able to go the distance. The stretch, the offering, swung on and fouled straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, the Mustangs have, even though they had that 1 inning, they committed 3 errors, they've also made some sparkling plays defensively. The stretch and the offering, and that's outside with a fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Chase Redding, the pitcher of record for the Mustangs. Won 4+ innings, allowing 5 runs. The pitch, down and away, 2-1. Yeah, Skyline's going to need somebody else to finish out this game. because Clifford is approaching 100 pitches. At third is Franco. Aguirre at first, but the Mustangs are still trying to come back. Awaiting the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Yeah, Reading can change this game with one swing. You get something in the gap, you make it 8-3, and maybe something even deeper than that, 8-4. Now you're looking at a new ball game. Got to get a hold of one right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. A run across in the bottom of the 6th inning. Swung on and popped up behind the mound. Who's going to call for that? It will be the second baseman, Carmona. He squeezes it, and the Mustangs are limited to a run in the 6th inning. They do it on 1 hit, no errors and 2 left. To the 7th after the break at Skyline 8, Fort Morgan 1 in Game 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. I'm John Beltran back at Legion Field. Top of the 7th inning, Skyline 8, Fort Morgan 1. The quote for this top of the 7th inning defensively for the Mustangs from Major League again. Boy, how can these guys lay off pitches that close? A player lands on that list if they make a special defensive play. Here's Jonathan Canar, who swings and lines it backhanded beautifully by Langford. Throw to first, and it's off the glove of Romero. Well, we'll score a base hit since he had to throw basically from his knees. That would have made this list. But Canar reaches. He's now 2 for 3. Oh, man, that thing was scorched, but the throw was low and could not be dug out by Romero. Samuel Carmona has grounded out 4 times, and the pitch is upstairs from Jason Diaz. 1 ball and no strikes. Again, we're looking probably at a 6:30 game start for Game 2. Foul to the screen, and it's 1-1. Getting the house to the right temperature is difficult. 970-522-0471. Bailey Mechanical pitches a strike. Throw to second. The tag and late. Good throw by Baker, but that's a great jump. Excellent jump there by Canar. I'll call the ball. Okay. Check that. I had my head down for a second. All right, it's 2-1. The offering. Swung on and grounded slowly up the middle. Langford charges. Fields. Throws sidearm to first, and that's dug out beautifully by Romero for the out. To third is Canar, 1 down. Good play by the Mustang first baseman. Emilio Gutierrez has struck out, singled twice, and reached in an air. He's been on base 3 times. Mustangs playing the infield back. Swung on and lifted down the left field side. Aguirre, long run to his right, makes the running catch. Tagging up at third is Canar. He'll score. And it's 9-1 Skyline. Give Gutierrez the second RBI of the game. First pitch swinging. Here's Connor Ormsby. He's had a big game with a couple of walks and a 2-run homer in the first inning. 1 for 2 is Connor Ormsby. Wind by Diaz, the pitch. Fastball, a strike. We'll have some music in between games, and we'll get you back for Game 2. And we'll see who Skyline sends out to pitch in the bottom of the 7th inning. Clifford is over 100 pitches, and the breaking ball went behind the hitter. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Connor Ormsby. Grayson Gomez waits to hit next. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. Well, Diaz is doing a nice job of finding the zone in this inning. Had to really get into his rhythm. Struggled in the 6th inning, but now in the 7th, throwing strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch way outside, and the count levels at 2-2. All right, so I'll tell you we're looking at other games, how long they lasted today. Blue Jays and Royals went 2.5 hours. That was a 6-3 game. The offering, up and in. Red Sox and Tigers, that went 232. This one's at 207. And it's only a 7-inning game. We're still in the top of the 7th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, the bases empty. Hit from Diaz, and he walked him. He bounces it in. And that's another reason some of these games at the high school level are going to last longer because of pitching. Mustang pitchers have issued 12 walks today. I mean, that's equivalent to 3 runs just on walks. Grayson Gomez has been on base 4 times. He hits a fly ball along the left field line, drifting into foul territory. Aguirre giving chase, and it's just a strike. Couldn't get there. Super long run to his right. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, that's the one thing the Mustangs have got to work on. You'll get better defense if you have more control on the mound. 0-1 here to Grayson Gomez. 9-1 Skyline, top of the 7th inning. Short lead at first to pitch. Swung on and lifted to left field. Aguirre spots the baseball to his right, comes in, makes the 2-handed grab. And Skyline is done in the top of the 7th inning as they pick up a run to the bottom of the 7th. In 1 minute, Skyline 9, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Let's head to the bottom of the 7th inning. And it looks like that could be Carmona, the new pitcher for Skyline. Samuel Carmona. Skyline with a 9-1 lead. Yeah, that's him out there. I'm not sure where Clifford's at or other defensive changes. Here's Miguel Davila, his movie quote. And again, we'll have the top 3 coming up at the end of the game. And then we'll give you number 1. From 8 men out. Come on, Buck, sit down. Nobody's interested in your batting average. That's the baseball movie quote for Davila. As he steps in, struck out his first time, the pitch. And the breaking ball's a strike from Carmona. No balls and 1 strike. Carmona's at second, so I'm not sure who the second baseman is right now. Hard to spot that number. The pitch. Breaking ball is upstairs. The count is level at 1-1. Here to the number 8 hitter in the lineup. The pitch. Swung on and popped up left side. The shortstop, Colin Wright, is going to back up, but instead Gomez, the third baseman, makes the catch. 1 down. Tyler Baker has struck out and grounded out. His movie quote from The Sandlot. Some lady named Ruth, Baby Ruth. And more of these coming up during Game 2. The pitch. Breaking ball, a strike to Tyler Baker. The Mustangs have 3 hits in the game. Swung on, grounded right side, and a tough hop. Second baseman Fields throws to first for the out. Again, we're not sure who took over there because Carmona had occupied that spot. Well, let's see. I think I can tell you now. Play made by Braden Hufford. He moved over to second. So Hufford makes the play. And here is Charlie. Nope. No, instead, Xavier Almanza. All right. They love this club here in Cleveland for the movie Major League. This will be his shot. For Almanza, 2 down, the bases empty in the pitch. Strike on the outer half at the knees. It's 0-1. Almanza with a limited number of at-bats. And the offering. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Oh and 2, and the pitch. Swung on and lifted towards center field. This should do it. Coming in is Kennard, and the ball's going to drop for a base hit, a little Texas leaguer. Oh, it got just beyond right and in front of Kennard off the end of the bat. How about that for Almanza with a base hit? I thought that was going to carry a lot more. It did not.
Now batting, senior, number 18, Jonathan Acosta.
Well, we have a player here in Jonathan Acosta. Who was stepping in. I didn't know that was him. I thought it was number 16, Babkowicz. That's a strike. No, it is Acosta. No balls and one strike. The stretch and the offering is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Movie quote from Acosta from Field of Dreams, go the distance. The stretch and the offering. Upstairs. Mustangs doing what they can do to extend the game. It's 2-1. Again, looks like a 6:30 first pitch for game 2. Unless the Mustangs have some crazy rally. Down 9-1 with 2 outs in the 7th. The offering. Fastball is outside. Man, this is definitely a hitter strike zone. There's no question about it. Definitely a hitter strike zone. All those pitches are close enough. 3-1. And the offering. Swung on line. Base hit to right field by Acosta. Mustangs with runners at first and second. Now they've got 2 of their 5 hits in the inning. Here's David Keller. And from Rookie of the Year, his quote is Gardenhoser. That's what we have for Keller. Gardenhoser. Let's see if Keller can lay into one. The pitch. Breaking ball is a strike on the inner half. Keller has struck out. And he's popped to the left side and popped to the right side. 0 for 3. The offering. Swung on and popped up towards the screen. The catcher Gutierrez giving chase. And it's off the middle of the fence. It's 0-2. Carmona retired the first 2 hitters with relative ease. But now back-to-back base hits by Almanza and Acosta off the bench. No balls and 2 strikes to the senior David Keller. The stretch. And the offering. Swung on and driven deep into left field. Going way back is Lanier. That ball's over his head. It's going to go towards the fence. 1-run scores. Acosta to third. It's an RBI double for David Keller. And the Mustangs are down 9-2. Well, there's another candidate. David Keller has made the list. We'll see if he makes the final 3. Will he make the final 3 on our baseball quote of the game? Nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever do it again from Major League. Upstairs to Jason Diaz. Diaz is 0 for 2. The offering. Fastball is outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Mustangs are trying to make this a game, but they're down to 1 out. The pitch. That's a strike on the inner half. With a fastball, it's 2-1. Wine and offering. Swung on line. Foul down the right side. Well, now we have several candidates for the top 3. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. And several factors are taken into consideration when you made the play in the game as well. It's also a big key. 2-2. The pitch. Swung on and fouled off the catcher's mask. Two balls and 2 strikes to Jason Diaz. Looking in, the wine and the pitch. In the dirt. 3-2. Jesus Franco's on deck. The Mustangs are not going away. The pitch. Upstairs, Keller walks. And the bases are now loaded.
Number 20, Jesus Franco.
Okay, the quote for Jesus Franco. will be from Angels in the outfield. Even though you can't see us, we're always watching. Wine and offering. Swung on and fisted in the air, and that's going to be caught by the shortstop, Colin Wright. And that does it. The Mustangs put together a nice rally in the bottom half of the seventh inning, a run on 3 hits. They left the bases loaded. The final score in Game 1, Skyline 9, Fort Morgan 2, a 1-minute break. We'll have a recap and then give you our baseball movie quote of the game attributed to the player that made the best play, either offensively or defensively, right after this on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. The Mustang Post-Game Show is brought to you by Advanced Agri Solutions. Get a full plan of seed, food, and water for your field. Now is the time to begin your planning for next year's growing season. Call Dusty or Roxy, 970-571-2024. The Skyline Falcons have won Game 1 of the doubleheader over the Fort Morgan Mustangs by a score of 9-2. The winning pitcher was Jake Clifford. Impressive performance for him, as Clifford went 6 innings through 101 pitches, 1 run, gave up 3 hits, struck out 7. Check it, he struck out 9, 7 of those swinging, and he walked 3. The loss went to Chase Redding. Time of the game was 2 hours and 20 minutes. A 2-run homer by Connor Ormsby in the first inning gave Skyline a 2-0 lead. They would add to it in the 4th inning on an RBI groundout from Samuel Carmona, but then in the 5th inning, the game blew open. Matt Lanier with an RBI single, then scored on the same play on 2 Mustang errors, and then a 2-run homer by Evan Gale made it 7-0. And then in the 6th inning, it became 8-0 on an RBI single from Grayson Gomez. The Mustangs finally got on the board on Noah Aguirre's RBI single in the bottom of the 6th inning. Both teams scored in the 7th. David Keller with an RBI double, but Skyline moves to 1-5, and the Mustangs fall to 3-3 by that 9-2 victory. Now, top 3 plays in the game attributed to baseball movie quotes. And here we go. At number 3, and we'll go through them right now. This is tough, but number 3, we're going to give it to Chase Romero, that throw from right field. A league of their own, the heart is what makes it great. Not the baseball movie, the quote of the game, because that got number 3. Number 2 is David Keller's RBI double. And that would be from Rookie of the Year, Gardenhoser. So what is the baseball movie quote of the game based on a play made by a Mustang? Well, it happened in the top of the 1st inning, critical juncture of the game. It was 2-0. Charlie Langford laid out into shallow left center field. He dove and made an incredible catch. So that is the baseball movie quote of the game. Pride of the Yankees. Today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. Here's how this works now. In a future game, I'm going to take care of whoever participates, and you'll basically get a meal deal. You'll get a meal deal courtesy of me. All you have to do, you have to be the first person, the very first person. You just send me an email, john@necolorado.com, JOHN at NE, like northeastcolorado.com, john@necolorado.com, this will happen towards a future game here at Legion Field when you will get a $5 voucher. I need the name of the Mustang, which is Charlie Langford, and then the name of the movie and the quote. So, very simple. The first one to send an email to john@necolorado.com can be done at any time. Doesn't have to be today, but the first one who sends it will get a $5 voucher to a future game from the concession stand, and I will take care of them. So it's Charlie Langford, the player, the movie Pride of the Yankees, the quote, today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. You send that in and sign your name. You have to sign your name. I have to know who's sending me the email. So it's the name of the Mustang, Charlie Langford, the name of the movie Pride of the Yankees, the name of the quote, or the quote itself, today I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth, and then your name, first person to email that to me, is going to get a food voucher for a future game. Well, a tough one today for the Mustangs in game one of this doubleheader as they lose to Skyline by a count of 9-2. Just in the process of setting up music here for game two of our doubleheader. We'll take a little break, and that's kind of the way this thing's going to work. So we get to some music, and then we'll get back to you for game number two, which should start in about, let's see, probably about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll get to some music right now. The final score of game one, Skyline 9, Fort Morgan 2 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.